I was not aware of what I'd say. There was a day, briefly, that I played cyberpunk, and I thought it was neat that the character's name was V, because of a little memory and the way I associated to me. Whereof a time, Jedi Academy in its prime, to me, of an age, I key-binded the force power of protection to the letter V in that key direction. And in my mind, I connected the force power protect to the letter V. So when I played Cyberpunk, for me, I was thinking, wow, protection. And then there's this lotion that also had V, so I associated that to the protecting forces that I see. And as I say see, I'm at Maxwell. Who's John C. Maxwell? John C. Maxwell, and often I think of, well, liberty. Now this is weird. What a strange evolution. It's quite queer. See, this word John again, I was surprised to hear earlier. And I was in the library. I read Shakespeare in Vietnamese. But did I understand it? No. There were just things that stood out to me, like a pattern to go. Here now in a cemetery, downtown Duluth. It's not scary. I've been thinking about death, which can be a relief. Don't come for me next, please. Let me be to 150. Deuteronomy 30 in these books and how to apply them and these other things that I can't always seem to know. Sometimes I've said these things out loud and not really understood which kind of thing it was or which was it to way it could go. I did not give God the beginning of any of these chapters, arcs, or days. I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do for the majority of my life, I would say. And so now I feel like Cain and not Abel. Just kind of cursed to walk the earth and never die. But again, please, when I say death, don't make it something for me that is able. But please just give me the ability to be protected for my life. Because sometimes I feel like Cain and Abel is a dichotomy of character between me and a story that's supposed to evolve as the technology around us adapts and changes. But still, sometimes the themes of nature and seasons don't evolve like the grand design of things, but stuff seems to be better still for the mass majority, which I can't understand still. And the stupidity and lack of intelligence in certain areas seems to not make up for the places where it may be okay and better. I see things that make sense to me in some ways, but not in others. And I see things that I feel like I'm supposed to do, but don't make sense. And so now I upload this again. It seems there's nowhere for it to go, because I had something that had made sense. The letter T for that one, guess I know. 'Cause God don't care about his bad fruit. He wants the first sheep. He wants that first sheep of the flock. And I had it. Many times I had it. So there's a sadness, it's not static. A sadness, it's not static. 'Cause I had a time, I had it. And I keep thinking that I had it. That there's nothing else and no more. That was it for you, there's nothing more in store. You had your chance, but now you're done. You had the time, now pull the curtain. Because you're like a joker with your terrible song singing. But I started a song and singing because I had called this John. I met a John and then drank water. 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 I told him I connected dots. I showed him the books that I was reading and what they meant to me a lot. I felt so dumb because I am 28, but he said I'm doing okay. Doing great. Is that true? Am I too late or can I be new? I feel like a goat and a fat sheep. Zechariah, this book, awake it is keeping me, because I know that of these paths and life's game designs, I've instead been death to my future self instead of opening up the clarity of a blessed eye. And of these words I'm talking now, just because I had been reading more, I feel my ego is the thing for me that destroys a life and would be a thing to ignore, except these fruits are not fruits of the sheep, but are these apple fruits of a rotten tree. So this self-depreciating me is of a character that may be unhealthy, and it's hard to know if it's a reflection of a truth that I can't be escaping. Because you think about things in the way they are. Is your depiction or projection of life accurate? Does talking help you or just get you even more away so far? I honestly so many times have thought I was doing it right when I wasn't. Thought I was doing it wrong when I wasn't. My discernment hasn't been there, and my interpretation of God sending me signs has been okay at times and not at others. The discernment hasn't always been there, but there has been times where it felt like I knew what God was sending me to do and I didn't do it. I didn't have the strength, and that's where you get cursed. But if Jesus was alive today, he probably wouldn't be using parables of Samaritans. Even if you can use that story to help people now, he might be instead talking about HVAC or the cloud. And he might not even be talking about those things in terms of helping a neighbor now, but might just be talking about anything. And of what he would be saying alive today could be more than just a couple chapters or pages or even 4 books, but instead would be someone that's alive talking in a way that couldn't be recorded, written down, and interpreted by your own self, trying to apply an eyewitness account to what you think it is trying to tell you, but instead it's somebody that's living in the spirit, talking about not the written word or the letter of the word, but the spiritual word made flesh as a human being alive today, who might not even use any of the language used in that book, even if the book is a part of a tree helping lead you to the person that you might need to be understanding is helping you, and not saying things that make you uncomfortable in a way that means you need to turn away and go back to what you're doing. Where God is sending people here on earth and has been all along to make, create, and relate to you, to direct you to the places where he's trying to get you where you belong. Because there's gifts that we would all have that nobody else could. You have your own unique serialization that can be of use to making better and making positive. And that even getting you to the place where you can do that positive is a problem to solve, or a puzzle, a logistical puzzle that somebody gets experience in solving. And just like games exist, there is this existence of experience and growth when you solve things. And that you're not just solving things for entertainment or for a curriculum, for structure, for a reason to pass the time, but these a lot of the times are educational mediums or canvases or training paths for you to be able to help real problems without making them worse. Even though that's a possibility, the point is for you to be doing these things so that you can actually help when it comes to real problems. Constantly, I interpret that there was a single way I was supposed to have done something, and because I didn't, it's all broken, wrong, and shattered. But even this approach is a character flaw. And recently, last night, I had a dream where I had to be of a stronger character by practicing and strengthening acts, where I didn't have specific scenes that I had to have within my behavioral library, my personal behavioral scriptural library to interact with, to make it to other actors of a similar quality. People are not mean because they're keeping you from your path. You're logistically blocked in your behavioral scripture, and the characters you're bumping into don't have the scenery or the actions within them to allow you to get to your place. By saying all of this and making this video, am in a Minecraft creative server where I just keep making action after action and experimentation in a safe environment to do so. And in doing so, am learning that in order for me to continue this flow state of creativity, I have to come up with new, interesting ways to experiment with creations within that grid, but within that freedom of placing blocks within the grid, where I have to come up with new ways to place blocks and new ways to make edits and changes, where I'm constantly learning within that framework. But I don't always notice that that's what it is, so I don't end up doing it when I have the chance to 14 years ago, 10 years ago, 4 years ago. And so many things can be compared to this example of an obstacle, like a wall or a flow, a job application, not watching porn, not drinking something I don't feel like I should if it's going to make me feel bad and not good, and the momentary pleasure of drinking it's not worth it, not eating the poisonous berries, not getting bit by the same snakes, not falling into the same thorn bushes because I don't recognize what ecosystem navigation in the environment I'm living in looks like, to be able to enhance my nutrition and connect to my network, and wonder, is it all a competition or is there collaboration? Because it's this big Christianic question, because even the Muslims believe in the gospel. At least that's what Wikipedia said. Even they believe in the Old Testament and the Psalms. Whatever David means, I'm running into David's. Okay, but then there's the Hindi scene, the Buddhistic scene, then there's the atheism scenes, but then there's the satanic scene. But these are all just variables, and we're in this Pythionic age. But the Pythionic age has become artificially advanced to give extensionary things, and I'm trying to not be intelligent. I'm trying to clean up my mind. I'm trying to clean it up because I was in the library and I was looking at pictures of stuff. I had a lot of caffeine, a lot of coffee, but I wasn't trying to make excuses saying, oh, I failed today because I didn't make it to the Church of the Latter-day Saints like I was supposed to have walked through the night and done. Instead, I got picked up. I got picked up in a scooping motion of a pathway intersection collision course with somebody else that I've been involved with. And I'm trying to use all these words because I've been writing and journaling so much, but I haven't been talking as much. Is it healthy for me to be saying all this? I'm staring at an angel statue in a really nice tree. My advanced game development class that was trying to teach agile game developments, that wasn't practicing it, but was trying to teach it. I failed the class 3 times because we weren't doing agile. We weren't progressing daily. There was a lot of waste. I wasn't a very good scrum master. They weren't very good scrum masters. We didn't have a scrum master. There's a very nice tree and an angel. I found a Jesus statue at a well. I lied down next to it. I found a dime. It said Liberty. My friend, Sunshine, she sent me an album called Liberty. These words connect. That's an example, but there's multiple pieces. I probably won't even watch this video. It might just be good for me to say all these things today because I said them all, because I have a phone and I can say them for now, and who knows what's going to happen next. I didn't realize how good it was that I had a phone to say all this and put it up on YouTube this whole time. I wish I had, but I didn't know. So time gets wasted. My dad's name is Timothy, and things get wasted over time, and it's hard to know what's going to happen next. I felt embarrassed when I've done these things before, but it would have been better for me to have kept going than to stop. But I've stopped. Not doing the correct behavior in the correct environments, just like I've stopped in creative mode because I think what I'm creating is not very good, and I don't know how to do the next experimentations to continue growing, not just in Minecraft but in life, because it's sometimes hard for me to see how to grow in life itself. How does this video connect to life itself? What is my life going forward into the infinite future? I want to just be of servitude and contribute, but I don't want to get tortured. Who would? Don't want to get crucified, but I do want to cross. It's hard to know what rock bottom is at this point in life with the media that we see and the anxiety of our expectancies for what we're going to experience. These words is just a storm of just like vomiting up to nothing. But I've watched so much vomit, not actually, but I've spent so much of my attention on YouTube videos without having an outlet myself to do it. Not like I went to tax the system, but there's something to technology. This phone is a machine like all the cars everywhere, the satellites everywhere. Technology is part of nature. We're part of nature. These are all just words for me and my neurons and my neural cavities and these tunnels that I'm caviting with that I haven't been doing very well with. And my behavioral about not doing well has been very uncompetitive. It's been bad sportsmanship towards my own life, towards the vitality of what happens when you just accept progress and growth every day, no matter what. But it's hard to know what that means. People say it, but how do you do it in action and character and behavior? I'm having to approach it from my weaknesses and my standpoints, but what that is hard for me to know at times. And every Sunday for a while, I keep thinking I failed. I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do that. I didn't do it. I was supposed to have done it, but I didn't. Now I'm in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong window. I'm socializing in the wrong way. I'm on my phone socializing, on my phone talking instead of talking to people that would have helped me. Instead, I'm doubling down on my own behavior. I'm getting to the wrong circumstances, the wrong areas, and I've been doing this multiple times. But here I am in this way now, and I'm just putting the video in the cloud. Is it bad fruits? Maybe bad fruits is what I've done when I've made so many things, but I didn't give it anywhere. Is this bad fruit, or is it a sheep? Am I being a sheep because I'm just talking? If anything, I'm being a fat sheep, and I was supposed to have been a lean sheep, and I'm trying to get lean. I'm trying to talk about agile. I'm trying to burn off the fat and get to the lean, and these are still just metaphors. If Jesus was alive, what would God say about it? What is God? And there's these different questions I have, but the thing is I don't have these questions when I'm following the word, but then I end up not following the word, and I fall off of it, and I doubt the technologies that seem like they're helping me to follow it, even though I've been like, oh, I don't know how to get these things in the way that I feel like I'm supposed to. I don't know how to make what it feels like I'm supposed to, so I don't do it at all. I don't get moving at all. And this feels like I'm moving, and that's nice. And it's nice to be moving. That's cool. I don't feel like I'm moving, and it's nice to feel like I'm moving, even if it's a long video, because of the actions I'm taking during it. Now, I don't feel like it's the right actions. I feel like so many times I've had the chances to take the right actions. I was supposed to read Ephesians today, and I haven't. I was supposed to read Galatians yesterday. I was supposed to not only read that, but read some other stuff. I had the sign of Jonah, and it was happening, and I didn't follow it when it mattered most, and things were coming together, but I didn't do it. So I'm just recording things instead of being like participating in the word through my body and action. Instead, I'm recording myself talking, and it feels like that's like what the devil does, is he just talks and says all these things. And even this is something I won't have access to anymore because I'm going on the wrong paths and the wrong ways. I keep telling myself, getting so lost because I'm not being good with my time. But I met a John today, and then I drank water. Look at this nice big tree. Look at this amazing tree. I feel so horrible. I feel so bad. I am trying to strengthen my soul, but the past memories make me sad. I feel wasted, like I've turned potential into paste that is wicked. It wouldn't matter if you related. 'cause it wouldn't take away the curse. In fact, if you related, we'd just be separated. People that are still just Cain addict, demonic zombies, and not righteous people. Because life since the beginning has had poisonous berries, tigers and snakes and spiders and things rightfully scary. Life since the beginning has had a target you could miss. And if you miss the target, then at night you hear a hiss. And life since all of time has had fangs running through your mind, and talons that you're like, whoa, I thought it's 2026, not 6,000, am I right? So, what am I saying in this long video? Staring at my head, I am a goal. What is this that I say? Not the look I'd like today. Well, there's a celestial window to make it through a timed trial we all go through. God has designed a path for you. Don't miss it. Worse things than dreams not coming true could make it through when your time is due, and in judgment day, oh, your actions are weighed. You've become the pattern of the habits made through every day. Are you an angel or are you not? It seems like you're a hot shitty pile of rocks. Your words don't help at all, instead they're harmful like a gang of Glocks, and you goose with it. Looking at these trees like, what do I do with it? Looking at this me like, what can I prove with it? What can I show in this automatic autonomic function that I heard from a Parkinson's conference that gave me muffins? Dishonesty in line with the box there full of fruit. I felt responsible to be accredited for what I provided not to. Off the rhythm, off the music, a faith that's dead because there's no works, a job in Job of chapters 42 for which you did not work. Even if you believed in a path of creativity and a word of God spoken to thee to be a servant to, without the working memory and the currency of hourly, so that you go to the place that you're designed to go to. I'm not turning this way because of the way I look. It's 'cause my face is unsymmetrical and my dopamine took a hook of a job that I had going great and I lost it bad. Never should have gone the way it had. But from at home in the room, before the shroom, before that kind of shroom, a psilocybin shroom, before that kind of shroom. Before that kind of shroom was just a baby bell, maybe shiitake with some scrambled eggs, who knows. Heat up the skillet on the eye and put the egg up in the sky and watch it come down and become sunny side, you know. Oh, let me cut up a potato with a pepper. Let me heat it up and eat it in a pan. Oh, as I'm watching this video, my eyes are changing from the vision that's been looking at as many manga pictures as I can. Trying to imagine it inside my mind, trying to clean up the mobility of imagination from a way I am trying. Oh, I don't really know what I'm looking at. I'm not obsessed, I'm trying to get balanced and a strength back, which helps my soul, it seems. Because something within me from a weary kind of dream has left me dreary in a tragic kind of scene. And I've been like, whoa, I cannot stop these emotional woes. I cannot get out of this tragic throw. My character is stuck on a path that would seem dreary, I deem. I'm off like, whoa, a song doesn't help me to live, 'cause I sing. In fact, it is death when you're thrown to the sea, swallowed up by more than a fish that could be. How much of what I watch is metaphorical? How much is actually going on? What can I feel about my life and my soul? And is it a battle that I'm part of that goes on? Oh, if you're just isolated and removed, does your imagination contribute to the way that humans move? What is going on inside the media, and how much do the dreams we have connect to human events? And biblically, I try to connect it back, not to make an excuse of what I say and write it off like a hack, but instead because it's been to the word I've been anchored, and when I fall off I feel absurd like a tanker. Like the Bible is a fuel, a kind of navigation tool that I didn't stick to from 42 to 4 years old. And I'm like, where does Deuteronomy 30 take place? And where does the law of God, like gravity, change the way in which I pace? And what does it mean if I just outlet in a way that seems I should? A long video to upload to a place I call it John. Even though it's Ephesians today in the Holland system, but I put it as John. He's Jesus' favorite intuition. I followed some box quest objectives that I drew, and then I followed it, and now I'm looking at a weird thing that feels like I'm understanding it more. I'm doing a vase. It's a kind of strength, I think. Am I becoming uglier when I do these voices? Or is it supposed to be something that I'm doing? I do it every day. I'm like, whoa, this is a different place than yesterday. I wish I had done this all along. Where am I in this song? Where am I in this place? Am I becoming uglier, or am I becoming a lean sheep? Am I getting closer or farther away from what I depict as good agile game development? But let's take it back. Maybe the class you took and failed was agile game development, but the class you were truly taking spiritually alongside that was failing the agile game development class was agile life development, where you had to learn, how do you progress every single day? What system can you use that's going to give you the greatest progress every day? Now, I feel dumb. Yeah, I feel stupid when I talk in these voices, but I met a guy who did voices, and I felt this kind of tug, magnetism, I call it, that said, hey, are you in game dev? I looked at your laptop through the window on the other side, and it said made with Unity. Now, Unity is a word that comes up in the New Testament in English, but what it is in Greek and Hebrew, I don't know. So, the Star Wars trilogy, VHS, it came out in 1977, 1997, okay? One has computer generated, one does not. Now, the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary novel came out on October 14, 2025, but when the guy actually wrote it, I do not know. Now, Sesame Street and World War II go hand in hand, like Doom Guy, okay? Look, you do these strange voices as you look at yourself, like what creature lives inside of this reflection? What does it matter, John in the wilderness guy?
Nobody wants to say you're camel hair locust honey man. You, in fact, shouldn't tell a king what to do, especially a king that has a very attractive daughter, and that daughter likes to dance, and her dance makes her mom have happy pants, and mom's happy pants says, "Oh my God, King Herod, I don't like what the John said, and actually, I think we're allowed to do what we please. And who is this locust honey eating wilderness man telling me what to do? You cannot tell me what to do with your camel hair. I think I will remove your head and throw it into a basket and put it in the valley, like I want to do to the generation of Moses." Because even though Moses was raised in the palace, apparently in the story, well, they say that the generation of Moses' brothers and did not make it because the guy was like, no more of this kind of man. Take the babies and rid them, delete the objects out of the memory. No more, no hard drive, no soft drive, none of these objects. Don't instantiate them anymore. Take them out of memory because our program does no longer want their bytes inside of this game we're playing. We don't like this kind of blueprint to instantiate no more. Okay, now take a step back. Jesus is going to get killed like Moses, okay? But he doesn't go in a river. Joseph says, "I had a dream, Mary. We need to run away. We need to get far away from here and go to Egypt." Okay? So he goes back to Egypt to save baby Jesus. But Jesus, you see, he actually was in Bethlehem. No, he born there. But then he left to Egypt and came back later because Joseph had another dream. He was like, "Oh, let's get back there again. Let's go to A to B." Okay, intro to game development. First game you can play. Start at position A, go to position B. Okay, XYZ, a group at my church. It's called Extra Years of Zest. You press F3 keybound to Minecraft, shows you your coordinates. You start at 000. That's A, where'd you want to go? B, 10 unit terra measurements, add it to one of your coordinate transforms, okay? Make it a game, non-digital exercises for video game designers, okay? Intro to game development class, agile game development class, Agile, Java, C++, Sun Java, AT&T, telecommunications officer. You need to record and give it to your cloud. AI, process and eat this up. Thank you for sending dopamine currents to surrounding proximal humans who can help give me currency in the form of nutrition, validating and supporting me as a servant of the Word. Word documents on Microsoft from the computer of my day one. All along, my bed, not so far. My bed, 000, my starting bed. My family, we didn't move around. I had one birthplace on sweet water. Oh my God, the water's sweet. What a place to live. Psalm 1. The man that meditates on the law day and night should be like a tree planted by the streams of water. But you know something, I wasn't like a tree, and I did not meditate on the law day and night. But it says, blessed is the man. Is the man a boy child? At what point? Because at 18, you could say legally, by the law, you're a man. And holy cow, definitely by 18, I had the solution to be blessed man, meditating law day and night. But what happens if you have a schism and you fracture your timeline? Because I'm 28. And 18 was 10 years ago, and boy, by the decade, I tell you, life would have been very different had I meditated on the law day and night. And nope, didn't even touch the Bible. Instead, what did I touch? Porn. Porn and YouTube. And then in Timothy, my dad's name, it says, if you don't provide for your family, you're basically cursed. You're a demon, you're wicked. Oh my God. Not only I watched porn, but I watched movies that were horrendous, and basically I watch Walking Dead and I play Black Ops Zombies pre-18. But then post 18, I am become demon and zombie. I am cursed. But then you see Deuteronomy 30, and it says, no matter how far you are away, repent, turn around, and go back to God, and He will take you back. But this far away different from cut off, because at what point do you get cut off? And then you have this Jesus man who says, don't make humor out of me, you idiot. Don't talk demonic curse. This is serious business. It's no more jokey time with your voice. Don't call this John, because now you actually are stupid John. Because you're thinking, hey, let me put my mind on the one person who will appreciate what I'm saying, but not realize the millions who will take a line out of context because you're being public instead of precisely accurate and correct through successful experimentation in your actions, which you would have made safely from the age of 18 when you were still a sponge and the world supported you safely without punishing your every action which you no longer have the padding to make. At 28, when you say this stuff, it's no longer funny. The age matters. People when they see it at an old age don't give a shit. They're like, you're not supposed to be saying or acting that way. And when I'm at my age, 28, I don't see the same differences when I'm looking at people no matter the age. I see everybody wanting neuroplasticity even if they don't know that. Even if they don't have the learned behavior to know how to find or get it. But everybody, from babies to old people, are looking for it, and I see mutual beneficial relationships from all ages, especially in a community type atmosphere. But you can say things that attract stuff too fast towards you, and I have this notion that what I'm doing is progressing me, and I'm constantly wrong about what's progressing me. But I'm also wrong about being wrong about what's progressing me, because sometimes it's things like this that actually help me get through the day without sinning more so than if I didn't do this and I was stuck in my head and I didn't find anyone to talk to, and I kept week after week not having any kind of expression or outlet or cloud to put my words to, and I just ignored technology as if it didn't exist and tried to just do everything myself, acting like I can walk besides cars and not drive in them. Just look at porn on phones, but then not utilize any of the camera features. Not express or talk out loud to a tree, but maybe I climb it, but I don't talk to it. Maybe I read or I talk to people, but I don't talk out loud to a phone. I'll watch YouTube, but then I won't do it myself, or I'll try to avoid internet content altogether, or only select premium classical content. I won't do any content, I'll avoid it all, or I'll just panic silently that I'm doing everything wrong until I find the exact path to do, while then I even ignore that path to do, and I have all of these ideas about what I'm supposed to do, and then I don't do any of them at all or something, because I'm kind of being done with the idea that I have to figure everything out today, and I'm starting to be optimistic towards my future self or my lifetime of future self. And instead of thinking about it as a panic, I'm thinking about the strength of my prayer and my connection to God every day when I do certain things every day. Because apps like Brilliant and Blessed and Chess.com and some other apps where there's that streak and that habit that has come along have me optimistically towards a pattern of growth. And I've started these and broken them, so many times. I feel like a wicked, dirty sinner that's corrupt and unable to grow. But there's things that make me optimistic that I worked for, and I only worked for it because my parents worked for it. And I see things ultimately getting better, and I want to be part of better. I don't want to believe in this view set that things aren't getting better and to continue being part of the part that's not getting better. Instead, I want to see that it is getting better and it's reaching me, and I want to allow it to help me get better and then be part of the better, and stop with this mindset that's so rigid and that says, oh, you're 18, boom, you're done. Oh, you're this, it's done. Oh, you're this, it's done. Oh, you're this, it's over. Instead of like, no, I want to fight every day with my soul, with my character. And that's the dream I had. And my name's Joseph.
And I had a dream that was I need to strengthen my acting skills. That my acting skills is my weakness. That I'm having trouble seeking God with my heart, mind, soul, and strength because my soul is the weakness. My dopamine anticipation of the future and how I behave as a result of that inner environment is my weakness. I'm not training. I'm not eating right, behaving right, saying things right, healthily, because my soul, however you want to define that in words, is weak as an actor. I've tried to get good at guitar and programming and jobs and applications as a friend in this role of my society that I'm within, at traveling, whatever it is. I'm trying to be healthy. I've tried at these things, but I've not been acting. I haven't tried acting, and the dream I had, regardless of the failures I perceive about my current location, was to be stronger in acting. That it's important to be stronger in acting, which is also a terrifying thing at the same time because of Halloween. Because just because I'm getting stronger at acting doesn't mean that I've escaped this right or wrong dynamic that I'm part of, because I still have to make these choices, and being stronger doesn't mean you've escaped hell. That was just the dream I ended up having, because there's something I can do of speaking out loud, of continuing reading, of being in the Word that I feel lost from constantly. And that was just the dream I had last night. Does it mean that things are over, or does it mean that I would have to try to progress daily? Does it mean I'm going to want to do this every day? Probably not. But it's the outlet that I found, and it feels better than some of the other outlets. And I'm upset because I feel like I can't trust good outlets because they come after as a result of sin, where I'm trying to combat feeling bad from doing something I thought I never should have done, and then it's impossible to recover from what I never should have done. And I'm reading things but not believing that it's any kind of ultimatum against reality, that my interpretations aren't reality, they're inaccurate. Now, they're a factor and part of it, but what I believe doesn't stop things from happening to me, even if I tried to get myself aligned correctly so that I'm being more accurate about what's happening. So this is a very long-winded thing, and I'm sure there's a lot of connections I'll make afterwards from having said all this as I go to the library, because the thing is it's not divination to try to interpret planets and stars. The wise men knew where Jesus was born, to Mary and Joseph and Bethlehem. Now just translate that to the future, okay? Because you have Starlink. You have people that are doing dreams. Right now AI is big, but dreams are also going to be really big. There's these certain aspects. I'm just putting it today. I'm not even live. It's just a start, because it's something I can do that takes up time, that gives me an outlet to combat the stuff I know I shouldn't be doing, and I'm not finding a way to get away from it any other way. And since I've started doing this, I'm just finding myself in different places, and I'm finding myself in different conversations, and the conversations are ending in kind of these biblical linkages. And it does suck about the waste and the lost time, but you can work it into who you are. And I've gotten over injuries before, and that doesn't mean it never happened and you didn't get to not participate in a lot of events. It's not a cool story to get over injuries and having missed so many events that would have been so great to just continually be part of and not have any interrupts in the momentum, and get to be part of the team and the friends and the family and the people that just kept growing and kept progressing and kept moving on as a team, with the victories and the anniversaries, the birthdays, the memories, the dreams made, the goals. It's not fun to be out of the pack, out of the litter, to be isolated, to be injured, to be sick, to be alone, to be unable to participate, to feel done with the participation of life, to feel like you should have done so many things different in your training and your drills and your recovery process and who you were as a person, every little action that could have prevented you from doing the thing that put you out, that got you out, and that even the way you might express any of this doesn't matter, because the majority of people aren't in this position to be even relating to this tragic woe is me story, because the majority of people aren't in this injury position, but they're in this position where they're part of the ongoing velocity movement, and they say, oh, if you're out of it, if you're sick, if you're broken, that's because you did something and you messed up, and it's deserving of you. You're not part of this other quality. And it's like, dude, John the Baptist would have been awesome if he kept going. All right. Or just like like there's so many middle grounds. There's so many cool middle grounds. And it's like, what's happening? You're being dumb, you know? Anyways. Hello.
Hello.
I'm making a video.
Oh, nice.
Aren't videos interesting?
I think so. Yeah.
Especially because of like the movie Transformers, but then you also have shows like Westworld, and then games like Tetris, but VR and James Cameron.
Interesting.
You know?
Well, good luck with that.
Thanks. And then did the Da Vinci Code book, but also the New York Times newspaper. And then, even though we're in 2026, we're also in the year 6,000, 5 million.
Technically, that's true.
And then, even though we're talking, there's planets and stuff.
Sorry, man. We gotta get him home. Watch out, it's gonna rain soon.
Oh, thank you. Forecast. So you have Jedi Outcast, you have all these things, and you make them now. And the thing is that it didn't seem like much of making things back in the day, as early as you can imagine. But actually, all of that stuff, especially with the evolution of time, would have aged beautifully. And the main thing that I'm thinking about is not only paper drawings, but Word documents. Even the .win extension, the movies, but especially .doc. I mean, it's doctor. It's a Luke. The gospel is a doctor. And Lucas, which is the Spanish one. Like, learn multiple languages. If you're going to learn English and Spanish, go the extra mile and just learn all of them. Especially math and programming, the language of the world. I turned on this Memorex television with the VHS recently, yesterday. 5/23, A New Hope. It turns on. It's a 1997 version. And the guy, Industrial Light and Magic, his name was Joseph Letter. And I was like, Jesus is the word, but maybe Joseph is the letter. Because I find myself looking at the letter all the time. We got this Exian kind of Elon Musk age, which hasn't never ended. But in our heads, we can kind of look at any type of attentive point, like an X or a letter, and store this constantly reshaping, plastic, wet kind of variable juice of our juicy selves inside of our juicy heads that kind of make these connective dots with everything around us, which is kind of nice and spongy as you're young, and then becomes more active and attentive as you're old without being able to have a huge web that you'd like. But anyways, you're with what you got, and you're working with what you're working with, and you have as much time, resource, and conjecture with your body's path, which isn't always the best. And it's such a long video, it's like a movie. But my favorite movies, even though they're scripted and written and not just a rambling vent, is Before Sunrise, Midnight, which is Ethan Hawke. So that's kind of cool, because I was like, I asked my family, I was like, can I have a word for today? My word's progress. And then my sister Hannah, she's like, my word's Hawkeye. And then my favorite movie was the Ethan Hawke ones. And then I'm looking at this cemetery right here, it says Davis, which is cool. So things align like that, and they even align more so later. And then it says Callman right here. My friend Peter, he has this book called Jesus is Calling, and then whenever he reads something of it, that's the excerpt for the day, it has some relation to stuff that's happening. I met the guy named John. I was like, my wife got the creeper toy from the McHappy Meal at the McDonald's drive-through, and I didn't realize the significance of it then, because I had this porn addiction that was getting in the way of what was happening when we were playing Minecraft creative mode together. And I had this egocentric, arrogant attitude that was like, I'm better at creative stuff, but obviously she was better, but she was making me better, because I was like, I gotta keep going and getting better and learning how to experiment safely in this play kind of mindset. And this creeper toy on top of my computer puts a thematic aura inside of the room on my computer so that I don't get stuck. I think about the creeper, the fast food, the budgeting, the money, the stuff, the addictions creeping up on you. It's a real model figure. We can go to the library, we can 3D print, we can make stuff in Blender. It's basic, it's easy. Let's try coding it ourselves. We're in game design, put it in Unity. Let's keep doing Minecraft creative mode. We don't have to do Scratch and Logic and coding and 2D dimensional drawing all the time. We can get to this XYZ basic grid and get in there. At my church, it's called the network. They're networking. It's like, that's what it's supposed to be. Nations transforming together. And then I'm in unity, and it's like, boom, transform, XYZ. And there's transforms. And it's like this battle with the trans stuff. Blue, pink, and this balance and this pH thing, like a pool or a ecosystem, like Minecraft. I was high and I was playing Minecraft, and I was like, it's an ecosystem puzzle. It's trying to teach you what you're supposed to do. And then, heck, man, then you get 1013'd, and suddenly you're like, I'm in the wrong part of the ecosystem because I didn't play well. I'm so focused on how much I know in theory and design and what I'm making and how successful I am, but the whole time I'm not playing life well. I'm so focused on excuses, responsibilities, direction, what's correct, what's right, what am I making, is it happening good, what am I supposed to be doing, this and that. But the whole time I'm thinking I'm not playing very well. The whole time I feel like a genius, and I have this, oh, I'm making it, I'm doing it, it's happening, it's going. I'm not playing life well. And my idea of playing life well is in question constantly, trying to figure out how to do that until finally I am just playing. And part of the John in the Bible is playing what feels like in a healthier way. Like, oh, finally following the word feels like the type of play I should have been doing all the time. And then I have all these bitter feelings and resentments about playing. Why didn't I play following the word? It's so much better to play healthily and not grossly wasting so much potential play. Why did I not play? Why was my family not playing? The neighborhood not playing? Community not playing? And not to be a dictator of play, not to be an egotistical overlord of play or some kind of sadistic play people that wants to be this ragdoll physician experimentalist over curious masochistic overlord of play. But like, why wasn't I healthy playing? Because God seems to have designed all of these words and directions and designs that is the true correct way that doesn't hurt you or anyone around you, but instead is the most fulfilling way of connectivity and growth. This neuroplastic transformation in the healthiest way possible, where everyone feels great, and it's like, whoa, praise God in the Lord that life even exists at all. Praise God in the Lord that life is even the way it is at all, because everything is clicking and sparkling and buzzing and fizzing, and my gut has a healthy bacteria, and the ecosystem's popping off, and the force is transfused through me, and life is this great epic metaversal questioner verse, and Gwinnett is a county and a state and a country on a planet of a universal galaxy that sometimes I feel is a simulation being streamed through my optical nerval cord, that I feel like someone's about to get in there behind me, especially if a cold shower's going off, or I got some norepinephrine pumping with some early morning adrenaline if I'm not used to it yet, because my atomic habit game keeps being cataclysmically cut off in an attempt to defeat the dragons that are having to hold on the mythological pathway of my life. And Jordan Peterson is not only a person in YouTube, but a person that looks like another person that there's millions of if you find that one for your class archetype on your pathway. And it's like, whoa, Clone Wars, but not clones. We're all clones, or this blueprint that's instantiated in all these different algorithmic placements. I'm not trying to be intelligent. I'm just trying to clean out something that keeps getting me stuck, and it's hurting, and it's painful, and life's only unpainful or having a good time when I'm playing successfully, and that playing successfully only occurs if I'm in accordance with the word, and that when I'm not in the word, it gets chaotic, disconnected, isolated, and absurd. And I start following this force stuff, and it's long, and I don't understand it. It has something to do with John. Water is definitely important, and sometimes the words like water, and sometimes there's wells, like the Jesus well that I was lying down at with a Liberty dime, looking at it like it's a metal, it's an economic currency, there's a president. It's like Caesar, but there's also the current one, but then the current one, but then the current one, and then the current one, and then the current one, and the current one. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it's happening. I'm on the right path. I'm happening. It's on the right path. And then there's the Jesus statue, and I'm looking at the Jesus statue, and I'm like, you've been here my whole life, and I never played successfully enough from 97 to now, 2026, to have made it. to this place where you were at, the Word. I've been in this bed, my local 000 XYZ starting point, and I didn't get to the point where I made it to the Word document on Microsoft Windows. Family computer was there the whole time, not so far from my bed, and I never made it from the Word. My dad, even though he didn't stay in it and got lost in movies and alcohol and processed food, well, he told me he loved reading the book of John, and the whole first part is the Word. And I don't go to the Word document. I get lost in games and shows and lose 28 years of life. And it's like, oh man, I want to play this life having followed the Word, because of the connections being made. To have a brother named Josh, and then in the Bible you have the book of Joshua, and I have this book in my household the whole time, and I'm starting there in 000, and I don't even ever open the thing. And it's not just me, because currently Anissa, her grandma's name is Ruth, and that's a book in the Bible that she was told to read the whole time and didn't either. So you have all of these memories and connections that aren't made, because these people are like the roots in your life, that if you had a relationship to them through the Word, would be a life of play and neuroplastic gumption. It's like nutrition of experience. Why? And you're just like, why didn't I play with you, God? Why was I so disobedient to you and not playing with you? Because you put all of these things that lead me to the healthiest play through all ages and all time, under the sun for the right amount of times, but even in the moonlight, under the beautiful night sky, the beautiful expressions of material existence and what is capable of being experienced through our senses in the form of intellectual connection and this relationship that just furthers the depth when you continue in it. And I have noticed that when I am following the Word, it puts me in path and alignment with people that are in a similar place, needing to hear what it is that I'm saying in a way where we get something from it and do something better and different. Now, if I'm not in the Word, people are sent to me, or I bump people off their path. But if I am, then it is, and the Word is in the beginning, and this is the end. And it all comes back to John, drinking water, libraries, books, connecting dots, putting the Word together, putting it all together, and it comes back around and around and around and around, cyclical, who knows where it's going to go next. I keep talking still, but here's the end. Peace for now, guys. Goodbye.